broadcasting across the nation from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to TechTime with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, Technology News of the Week, the show for the everyday person talking about technology, broadcasting across the nation with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We welcome our radio audience of 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology news. I'm Nathan Mumm, your host and technologist with over 30 years of technology expertise. Our co-host, Mike Day, is an award-winning author and our human behavior expert. Now, we're live streaming during our show on 4 of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch TV, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And we're encouraged to see that Blue Sky is in the process of having a streaming service, and as soon as that goes live, we will be on that also. Now, we encourage you to visit us online at techtimeradio.com and become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/techtimeradio. We are friends from different backgrounds, but we bring the best technology show possible weekly for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. We're glad to have Odie, our producer, at the control panel today. Welcome, everyone. Let's start today's show.
Now on today's show.
All right, today on Tech Time Radio, what's keeping TikTok running and on top despite all of its controversies? Tune in to uncover the latest twists and turns. Imagine controlling your devices with just a flick of a finger. Curious? We'll reveal more with Gwen Wei on gadgets and gear. And then $1.5 billion stolen in the largest crypto heist ever. Who did it and how? Stay tuned to find out more. And Social Security IT services are in turmoil. So we're going to be talking about that. What dramatic measures are being taken? And then the next generation of gaming is here. What's the buzz about Nintendo Switch 2? And is it worth the hype? We'll give you a sneak peek. In addition, we have our standard features, including Mike's mesmerizing moment, our technology fail of the week, a possible Nathan Nugget, and of course, our pick of the day, whiskey tastings, to see if our selected whiskey pick gets 0, 1, or 2 thumbs up at the end of the show. Now, are you okay there, Mike? I was worried about you. I saw you coughing. Are you okay? No Heimlich there or anything like that needs to be done?
Please, no.
Okay, all right. Well, you know what you do have, though?
Don't touch me.
Okay, you have the legendary gaming mug, so you should be good to
that's what I was drinking out of when I went into the cough.
Oh, okay. Well, that didn't work then. I almost had it.
The legendary cough mug.
All right. Right now, though, it's time for the latest headlines in the world of technology.
Here are our top technology stories of the week.
All right. Story number 1. TikTok's clock is still ticking. Let's go to Lisa Walker for more on this story.
U.S. President Donald Trump has granted TikTok a second 75-day extension to comply with a law that requires the highly popular video app to either sell its U.S. operation or face a ban in the country. The social media platform, which claims to have more than 170 million users in the U.S., must cease operations in the U.S. under a law passed by Congress, unless a buyer is found. In a statement last week, ByteDance mentioned that it had been in discussions, but noted that an agreement has not been executed. There are key matters. Any agreement will be subject to approval under Chinese law. So who is in the running to take over this platform? Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about this. Who might buy TikTok? As the ban deadline looms, Amazon joins the bidders. So it's really interesting that essentially we have bidders that are all taking care of it. TikTok deal is reportedly nearly finalized last week, but it fell apart after Trump on the same day announced sweeping global tariffs. I don't know if you've heard about these tariffs.
No, I have no idea what this is all about.
Okay, and it was imposed on China. So all of a sudden the agreement was put on hold. And now the agreement is waiting for approval of existing investors, ByteDance, the U.S. government, and China. Now, Trump imposed these global import taxes, which have caused a problem in the negotiations of the purchase of TikTok. It's interesting to see who is all in this bid to purchase TikTok. We have computer giant Microsoft. We got private equity giant Blackstone, venture capital firm, Anderson Hosewarts, and search engine AI company Perplexity is also in the stakes for purchasing this social media app. Now, you know what? I will look back at our prediction show, and this was the year that I did not predict Microsoft would purchase a social media app. And guess what?
Oh, well, you might be wrong.
You could be wrong. I actually think
you're wrong most of the time. On
those are. So, this is the time that I think that's going to happen where I think Microsoft, to be honest, if you're going to have somebody in there, I think that's the one that will work the best.
I don't know. Blackstone, who already owns most of the country anyway, probably
is interested in it too.
Yeah, they want to complete their conversion into a rental economy.
Would you want Amazon to have this?
I don't want Amazon to have any more stuff either.
Okay. I would totally agree with that too.
But then again, I think we should just ban TikTok altogether, and as well as Twitter and X and whatever it's going to be called next week when XAI changes the name again or whatever.
Okay. All right. Now on to story number 2.
Okay. Well, if you don't know yet, Nintendo has confirmed the Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out with a hefty price tag of $449.99 for the console.
That's the same price as a Xbox or a PlayStation 5, then.
I guess they just want their piece of the digital pie there.
Okay.
If you get the bundle, it's going to be $499. So,
what?
Yeah. You get, I think what's the bundle come with a game? Comes with Mario Kart, I believe.
No, Mario Kart World.
Available on June 5th this year, the Nintendo Switch 2 was fully revealed last week ahead of pre-orders going live on April 9th. Nintendo Switch 2 is the next step at home gaming that can be taken on the go based on 8 years of play. Nintendo Switch 2 comes with the following: the console, a Joy-Con 2 controllers on the left and right, Joy-Con 2 grips, Joy-Con 2 straps, Nintendo Switch 2 dock, ultra-high-speed HDMI cable, Nintendo Switch AC adapter, and a USB-C charging cable. Now, with the bundle, it comes with all that plus Mario Kart World and has a suggested retail price of $499.99 in the U.S. Includes a system and a download code for Mario Kart World. But if you want to buy that on your own, guess what?
How much are these?
How much is it? How much is it?
It's
Odie.
How much is it?
$80.
$80 freaking dollars.
Okay.
$79.99.
I'll let you finish.
All right, but now if you get the online version, it's $30 cheaper.
No, it's not.
Well, hang on. I know.
Yeah,
okay,
well,
No, if you get the bundle,
they're bundling.
it's $30 cheaper.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're bundling.
But that's
it
not
so you
the
can get it
physical
for-
game.
No,
That's only the download.
Mind you, they're not making a physical game anymore.
Well, I do believe that you can get the $79.99 one. Isn't it? I believe that's a physical game.
No, they're giving you download keys.
Are they all digital?
Yeah.
It's all part of the whole new economy system.
All right. Well,
it's nothing you have anymore is yours.
And so you actually are then renting it. It's just like when you buy movies online and you stream them and you download them, and then all of a sudden the studio pulls them back, and then you've lost the type of deal. Just think of everybody that has the Wii store, right? The Wii store just officially, 6 months ago, closed. So if you had ever bought a digital copy on the Wii store and you paid $49, $59, $39 for the prices of that, and then it retires, guess what happens? You do not get that game anymore.
No.
Yes, and that's happening with everything, with music, with games, with video streaming services. You don't own anything anymore. Then that's where the economy is going. So, while it's normal to hear lots of curiosity about how much a new console will cost, the Nintendo Switch 2 in particular has been the focus of a huge lot of hot debates due to the unusual economic environment it's releasing in.
Okay.
As experts said back in January, factors such as supply chain constraints and uncertainty around tariffs could have impacted Nintendo's decision around price setting. However, analysts have also said that Nintendo is likely to sell lots of consoles at launch regardless of the price.
It'll still sell out.
Probably.
And then it'll be the whole deal where you buy it on the black market, and it won't be $499. It'll be $700 and some odd dollars that they'll sell this for you too.
Yeah, I I'm pretty sure it will do well.
Well, Odie, will you be in line for one of these new units?
No, I will not.
Will you buy one of these units?
No. You know what I'm hoping will happen?
What's that?
What they did with the Wii U,
Okay.
where apparently it had this huge price tag at first launch, and then a lot of people realized this is no different than the Wii,
Yeah.
and it's not even a better console in itself, and it has that big hefty price tag. So then it ended up reducing in value a couple months after launch.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that happens with this. Also, another thing to note, if you wanted to play Switch games on the Switch 2, you have to pay for an upgrade
Yes.
for $20.
Yes.
That's so ridiculous.
Per game.
Per game.
Per game. Not
Yeah.
just not the platform, but per game. So if you bought yourself, let's say you go down to the local retro video game store and you buy a console, one of those type of deals for about $10, right? If you wanted to play it in your new device, by the time you take it home and you pay $10 for it, you'd have to then upsell double the price that you paid to pay it on your new unit for $20.
Sounds like Nintendo has really gotten back behind this whole screw you.
Well, so Xbox is coming out with a portable device, right?
Yeah.
Their portable device is supposed to be the same price as what the Switch 2 just released.
See,
now I'm interested. I'm gonna go with the Xbox portable.
I'm interested to see how they play it because I have a feeling that you'll be able to play the Xbox games on the mobile device as well as on the main console. That they'll be like transferable without any
just your
additional...
account. You just will come out to your account.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be a cloud-based unit. So what it is, it will have a fast internet connection, and it will connect to that to move forward. So,
But I was really hyped at first because the Mario Kart world is just like a GTA Mario Kart, but very friendly.
Okay.
And, you know, that's not even the full bundle. You think the bundle would come with the camera and the additional joysticks. It's just a game.
Yeah. Well, you know, as our buddy Elon Musk said about his cryptocurrency.
What's that?
It's a hustle.
Honestly, my Switch is doing fine. I bought it in 2020. I'm not going to buy the console.
Okay.
I was really hyped for it, but...
All right. Well, now we're going to move on to story number 3. All right. FBI has confirmed that North Korean hackers stole $1.5 billion from cryptocurrency exchange ByBit on Friday, the largest crypto heist record to date. Now, the FBI has encouraged node operators, exchanges, bridges, DeFi services, blockchain analytic firms, and other cryptocurrency service providers to block transactions originating from the address used by the North Korean hackers to launder the stolen assets. On Friday, the state-sponsored hacking group tracked by Trader, the Lazarus Groups, and APT38 intercepted a scheduled transfer of funds from one of the ByBit's cold wallets into a hot wallet, substantially reducing the cryptocurrency blockchain address under its control. Now, the FBI is releasing a PSA to advise that the Democratic People's Republic of Korea was responsible for the theft and approximately 1.5 billion USD in virtual assets from cryptocurrency exchange ByBit. This all happened on February 21st, 2025. Now, the actors proceeded rapidly to have all the converted stolen assets to Bitcoin. They then tried to convert them to actual real currency. Now, if you're going to put money into a crypto fund here at TechTime Radio, we've talked about this many times. There is only one that we recommend, and that is a company out of California called Coinbase. Now, none of these are to be FDI insured. None of these are guaranteed to exist. But if you're putting any of your cryptocurrency into any of these one-off areas, let me just talk about this. So, essentially, the cryptocurrency ByBit on Friday said that they are not going to replenish any of those cryptocurrency funds that were stolen.
Why would they?
So, because it's fake money,
it's
right?
It's a hustle.
So it's fake. So it's fake. Well, it's $1.5 billion that has just gone down the drain. And if you were one of those individuals that had one of those cryptocurrencies on this exchange, it is now gone forever.
Yeah. How awesome is that? So you spend money to buy non-money.
Yes.
Which gets stolen by other people, and because it's non-money, it's not actually stolen.
And then you convert it into cash.
And then you can
convert
get you
for the laundering is the only thing they get you.
How
on.
about that?
I didn't think about it.
That's how they get you. That's why the FBI is involved, because it is a laundering scheme, because you're taking money and you're converting it into other money and you're not really giving an asset for it. So it's kind of the way that they get that taken care of. But let me just tell you, do not be putting your money into cryptocurrency. Well, that ends our top technology stories of the week. Moving on, Gwenway will be joining us for our gadgets and gear segment next. Buckle up as we drive 88 miles per hour into our next segment. See you guys after the commercial break.
Looking for custom glass solutions for your next commercial project? Hartung Glass Industries is your trusted partner in custom glass fabrication. For over 100 years, Hartung has delivered proven manufacturing expertise, comprehensive product offerings, and dependable service and quality. From energy-efficient facades to custom shower doors, we create glass solutions tailored to your project needs. With 8 facilities across the U.S. and Canada, we combine national expertise with a local touch-ensuring faster service and unparalleled customer care. Hartung Glass Industries, where quality meets innovation. Visit hartungglass.com to learn more.
All right, welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Our weekly show covers the top technology subjects without any political agenda. We verify the facts, and we do it with a sense of humor in less than 60 minutes, and of course, a little whiskey on the side. Today, Mark Gregoire, whiskey connoisseur in studio. What are we tasting today?
Today is Joseph A. Magnus. This is their Murray Hill Club special release, batch number 4. Oh, a little coughing over there.
Wow.
Well, let me tell you about it. It's a little bit long. This is from their website.
Okay.
But it's going to be all these tons of tasting notes. So see if you get all these notes from it.
Motor oil.
It's artfully blended 8 and 17-year-old bourbon finished in 4 months in fresh Calvados casks imported from the lower Normandy region of France. The nose offers a complex cornucopia of aromas such as apple strudel, gingerbread cake drizzled with white icing, potpourri, old-fashioned New England apple molasses, Persian black tea with sugar cubes, and roasted chestnuts.
I detected every single one of those.
Thank you, Mike.
I only tasted the potpourri from my grandmother's old house, but okay.
Now, everything that nose promise is delivered on the palate with further notes of poached pears in ruby red port, star anise, apple blossom honey, brown butter with cinnamon, roasted coffee beans, dried apricots, branded cherries, candied walnuts, and aged balsamic vinegar.
I tasted every one of those.
You are turning into a connoisseur. And what about the finish, Mike? They say the finish is extraordinary, long and rich with a plenty of plum pudding, apple crisp, and citron peels that wash across the palate.
Okay, I don't know anything about citron peels, but the finish was awesome.
Okay. So this is from Joseph A. Magnus and Company. It's distillation. It's MGP distilled, but they bring it in and they finish it and they age it.
Fancy looking bottle, so it's got to be some expensive stuff.
It's finished bourbon, aged 8 to 17 year blend, 111 proof only. It's 75% corn, 21% rye, 4% malted barley, and the price is $200.
That's why you don't like it. Well, there you go. Too expensive for
I don't know, man. Well, maybe it'll grow on me. Okay.
Well, don't forget to like and subscribe. All you people out there, smash that like button. Drink responsibly. Heaven can wait.
There you go. Perfect. All right. With our whiskey tasting completed, let's move on to our feature segment. Today we have Gwen Way joining the show. She's an expert in cybersecurity during the day and a game board geek in the evenings, as well as the producer of TechTime Radio and our gadgets and gear gal. Let's get ready to start our Comcast video stream and our next segment.
What's new in our gadgets and gear?
All right, Gwen, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself for any new listeners that would be listening for their first time.
Certainly. Hi, everybody. I'm Gwen, and I have been in the tech world for a little over a quarter of a century. I've decided to go with that instead of just 25 years.
Okay, I like that. There you go.
It sounds good. And speaking of sounding good, every word out of Mark's mouth, that whiskey sounds amazing.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you, Gwen. All right.
Are you serious? Are you serious right now?
I really don't. Okay. Gwen. Well, with technology meets fashion at our fingertips, we have this new device that is born, the world's first ring-shaped Bluetooth mouse. Tell us what this device is. Tell us why someone would use it. Tell us what this gadget is and explain this to me in layman terms, because I looked at this and I got so many questions.
Oh, I had questions as well, and I read into it, and I just love it. I've been a fan of wearable technology, from smartwatches to health apps. Just all of it is fun. This particular one, though, appeals greatly because it is just what you said, a ring mouse. And that's how you can find it on Kickstarter. Search Ring Mouse. Basically, what this allows you to do is a couple of different things. It's just a ring. You put it on, and you're able to use it just like any regular mouse. You can use it for presentations. You can use it if you're in a meeting and want to be subtle about doing work while you're in that meeting. And you can also probably use it to mess with other people's work if you want to.
That was going to be my
where you're
question.
going first?
Yeah,
I kind of figured.
Can I do with that like you would do with an old TV remote? You know, where you would be able to switch your neighbor's TV.
So I guess if you connected it to their computer as a Bluetooth
If you
device,
connect to their
you could.
Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
That's
Exactly.
awesome.
All right, so let me tell you, does this work only on a Mac environment? Does this work on a PC? What does this work with?
This is pretty open. It's just like any Bluetooth mouse. You can use it for Macs. You can use it for Windows machines. I do not know whether it will actually work on a Linux machine or not. I had asked that question and had not gotten an answer yet.
Okay, all right. So you got this. I'm looking at it, and again, all you got to do is, I guess, go to Kickstarter and search for Ring Mouse. They got a good name, right? There's no other Ring Mouse out there.
Easy
Tell
to
me
find.
how many people have backed it? How many days to go? How much is their fund? Are they fully funded? Tell us the kind of the metrics there on
All of that good stuff.
Yeah.
They are fully funded. They were looking for $2,000 to start. They're up to $75,000 already. They've got slightly over 800 people backing it, and it is available until April 24th.
Okay. Wow. Until April 24th. Now,
Yep.
this is interesting. I don't know if I would ever wear a ring for a mouse. So I'm struggling with the application processes of why you would actually use.
Would you wear a mouse for a ring?
No, I wouldn't do that way either. But
Might be a little big.
yeah, I just so I'll trying to understand this. Why would I use this if I'm at? So I saw their big thing that they said, well, mice are loud. Okay, I guess if you bang a mouse on a table constantly in a meeting, it could be loud. But you know what? I think you can be pretty quiet with mice. So I don't think that's a huge of the items.
Sound wasn't really the big thing for me.
Okay.
The thing that really interests me is, as my career progresses, as I'm sure many others, I'm doing a lot more presentations now.
Okay.
And it's much easier if you're up there speaking to just click a button on a ring than it is to either have one of the, actual remote controls or try to use your actual mouse or have one of those floating mice that they have now. This just seems much simpler and less distracting.
Okay. I guess that now. So looks like there's two buttons on here, and then there's like a little screen type of deal. What's that? I didn't quite understand what the screen area was for.
That's actually a pointer that you can use.
Okay.
So that you're able to, not only advance slides in the presentation, but also point to things on the slide.
Yeah, and you can now mess with your cat with a mouse.
Oh, a ring with your ring.
Bonus.
Okay. Okay.
That's not the joke, buddy. It's fine. Move on.
Okay. So, most of the time I did not look to back this. So tell us though, now what's the price? Now, hopefully you don't have to pay import tariffs. No joking aside. I mean, who knows? Is the company local? Is it in the United States? Is it overseas?
It is. It's out of Arvada, Colorado.
Okay. Well,
which is good.
That's nice.
Currently, you can still get some of the early bird specials.
All right.
So, for example, if you want to get the stainless steel version, it's only $69. If you want to kind of bump it up a little bit and get the titanium alloy, it is currently $89.
I guess at $69, that's not that bad. Because if you pay for a high-end mouse right now, you're paying about $49 to $69 for a mouse with that.
My biggest thing now is how long is it going to last? Because, I got a Fitbit last February.
Okay.
It has a 1-year warranty.
Yeah.
My warranty ran out this February.
Yeah.
My Fitbit stopped working last night.
Uh-oh.
So,
yeah.
So you're just out of the warranty thing.
And just out of the warranty. The Fitbit completely fails. It bricked itself.
Oh, no.
So,
is there anything you can do to fix it?
I tried everything that is suggested on the internet.
And it didn't work.
No, and even throwing it against the wall didn't help.
So
put it in the freezer for a few hours.
So how long does
That
the battery?
doesn't actually
How do you
help.
charge? I guess how do you charge this ring? That is a good aspect for that.
There is a container that charges it, kind of like what you have for AirPods
Okay.
for the Apple devices. So you're able to put it in its container. It charges it. Each charge, if you fully charge it, is up to 10 hours of use. If you need a just really quick charge so that you can do something specific, if you charge for about 5 minutes, it will last for about an hour.
Well, okay.
So that
That's actually pretty reasonable. So it's like a mouse charge for that.
yeah, but again, how long will it last? What's I mean, physically, if it's a titanium ring, it probably will last quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
But how long will the
Aluminum ring.
functionality work?
Well, since it's Bluetooth, I'm sure it only does like you got button click here, button do here. So you got two buttons in a laser pointer. It's not. So if you look at that, I guess that's not that sophisticated because if you have two buttons, what happens though if you're wearing the ring and you hit the buttons and then it's connected to your computer and it opens up a? I'm struggling with that.
What are you dancing around there, buddy?
Well, you're
It opens up stuff you
I
don't want
don't
other
know that
people
we-
to see.
Or
I was
just
gonna
like
say,
you're in
I
a
don't know that we
presentation. That's what I'm
would.
thinking. I think you're in a presentation. All of a sudden, it goes back to the Windows screen, right? So you actually double click on it, and it does a double click. It goes out of your window, and then you have to now. It's not going to be. You can't navigate your ring to go left and right because it's only the buttons, right? So I couldn't get it back. So here I'm on stage going help, help, and then someone's going to have to plug in a physical mouse, put it down, move it around, and then they'll say, okay, now you're ready to go again with your ring. So I'm okay.
I think you would definitely have to practice with it before using it for a presentation, but I still think the usability is there.
Okay. All right. Well, so
are you gonna get the DeLorean version, or are you gonna get the upgrade?
I'm getting
version?
0 of these.
Oh, that's a
question
lie.
goes. The
You know
question
you're gonna
goes.
get one.
No, I'm actually going to get 0 of these. I have no real interest. But Gwen, the listeners want to know: are you going to get one of these units?
I think I am. I'm going to go ahead and go for the stainless steel because I don't need anything too fancy. I just want something that I can easily flip slides with.
Do you know what'd be really cool though? I guess is if you had this like to your wife's phone and you add the Bluetooth without her noting, and then she's like sitting there and she's scrolling through, and all of a sudden you start scrolling through. It's like, what the heck's going on in my computer? Or what's the heck's going on in my iPhone?
I
Oh.
think Nathan's
You weren't-
talking
you
about
That would be like an
into it.
April Fool's
Yeah,
joke.
you weren't here for my previous joke, were you?
Well, no. I mean, no, I was, but I mean, this is So this is like the coworker. I just want
I would take it to the office and hook it into other people's computers.
that would be
and
pretty
like
fun.
messing with them.
And they just
'Cause-
walk over to him because he doesn't look like you have a mouse, and you're just walking over there and you're like clicking and
No,
sliding.
and you know, you get
And
one of
as
these
Nathan
boring
talks
trainings.
himself into it,
Now I might buy one of these.
I think both of you might be buying
Yeah,
these.
now it sounds great.
That's
a practical joke.
I was on board when you first started talking about it
Okay.
because I immediately saw the practical joke part of it.
Well, for
Especially when you're,
$69, this would be.
especially when
Exactly.
you're, all
would be
these
really cool.
stupid, boring meetings with everybody in their PowerPoints. Can you imagine sitting there and
Just
just
taking
going,
over
Just
the
go next,
PowerPoint.
next, and you're like,
Oh, look,
okay,
we're done.
now we're done. Like, what
either-
happened?
yeah, or keep it on the same one, and every time they move it, just move it back, and just
Okay. All right. Okay.
Nice.
Well, all right. Well, all right. Well, Gwen, it's always great having you talk about new gadgets on the show. We want to thank you for being a part of the show. I realize we only get 12 unique items per year because you're on once a month. So when we actually go through all these items, I end up
well,
buying.
that's good for
like,
you,
I know,
Mister Buy Everything.
I
on
know. I only buy
Kickstarter.
about 10 of these things. So this is the one that I may pass, but.
Yeah.
You know what? That's okay.
No, you're not.
Well, I may hit one now
the
that-
more you think about all that stuff that
That
we
would
were
be
talking about,
Just think if I was doing that over here, and then all of a sudden, like Odie's trying to run the board there, and all of a sudden they just slide up and slide down. Should be like,
Odie, I'm sorry.
Well, of those 10 items, how many do you actually receive?
nearly like
You know?
7 of the 10. Nearly there's like
No,
3
he-
that don't go
That's
through.
still more than
he
half.
buys
That is-
100.
that
He
is.
buys 100. He gets 8 back. That's how it works.
I just got this new dot one. I mean, did you ever remember the dot thing that we had? Like the little, I got, never
Yep.
mind. I just got that. It finally came in. All right.
Oh,
Well-
good.
Well, Gwen, thank you for being a part of the show. We will see you next month.
Sounds good.
Where can
Thank
people
for
find
having
you?
me.
Where can people find you online?
Well, you can find me on LinkedIn, but really the best place to find me is the Tech Timers group over on Facebook.
There you go. You talk to Gwen. You can ask her about lots of gadgets there. All right. Thank you so much for being a part of our show, Gwen.
Bye, Gwen.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. That is our segment, Gadgets and Gear. Up next, we have Mike's mesmerizing moment. Welcome to Mike's mesmerizing moment. What does Mike have to say today? All right. My question for you, Mike. We're getting into the time when a new video game like Grand Theft Auto is going to come on out. And it looks like the starting price of a video game is going to be in the $100 range for a video game. Is this something that we are going to pay for a video game? Because when I look at my entertainment value, I can go to a movie still for under $20, and they're asking me now to start paying $100 for a video game. And Grand Theft Auto will have microtransactions in it.
Yeah, but
so I'm going to pay $100, and then I'm going to be microtransacting another $200 to $300 for this game.
So what do you want to know? If people are going to go for it?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're absolutely going to go. We train people to do this from the very outset.
okay.
You know, we use addictive things to get them hooked, and then we train them that things are going to go higher priced, and everybody just sort of absorbs it. And for me, probably not.
Okay.
I wouldn't consider myself that much of a gamer in that I'm like always on the hot new titles. I like my games and I play the same game. But these folks that are gamers and they're always trying to jump to the next new thing, yeah, they'll pay for it.
So you're going to pay $500 for this new Nintendo device that comes on out.
Yeah, not
you're
me.
going to pay. Okay, and then the consumers are asked to spend $75 to $100.
I think it's ridiculous, but then again, I think things are ridiculous that most people just ignore. So
like $1,000 could easily be spent in like the first month of your purchase of this new Nintendo
yeah,
Switch.
why not?
And that's okay. $1,000 for, do you know how many movies I can go to for $1,000?
Yeah, but the whole thing with the movies is the movie price is so low because odds are you're going to pay twice as much for the condiments that go with the movie.
Okay,
that's why that exists. But we in this world, and I don't think we really pay much attention to it because it's just normal. Is that we go and we work so that everybody else and their mom can devise ways of separating us from our income. That's what marketing is. That's what all these with the gaming industry, the media, every industry is trying to separate you from your dollars. They have been training us to do this from way back. They use all kinds of psychological tricks on you. I think it's a normal thing, but I don't think it should be. I think we should push back a lot on. So I would hope that the gaming community would be like, nope, I'm not buying that. It's too much.
Odie, would you pay $100 for Grand Theft Auto?
I've never played GTA, so no.
Okay.
Would you pay $100 for Mario Kart World?
No. Mario Kart 8, that's $60.
Yeah.
It should not be more than that.
See, it's normalized now that games are $60. How much were games back when we were kids?
Okay, so PC games, I went back to this. So PC games like Sierra Online games and stuff were $35 to $49.
Right. How much were NES games?
I don't know about that, but thinking back to like the DS, that's my first major console.
Yeah.
Or portable console, however you want to think about it.
$39.
A good game that was very popular, $40.
Yeah, $39.
And that makes sense because you could take it anywhere. You could put it anywhere.
Yep.
I was able to play on the DSi when they came out with the new one.
Yep.
It did not matter what game I had. I didn't have to buy another one. But with this, you can't even
play your own games.
transfer it to another device.
No, you have to have two of them.
Yeah.
So when you go traveling, you're going to be like, boom, boom, boom. Here's my Switch 2 and here's my Switch original.
Yeah, that's so ridiculous.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well.
Yeah. See, I don't know what you're talking about because I remember buying NES games when I was younger. And, of course.
$29 at Toys R Us.
Yeah, it was like.
On the sales when they came up.
Yeah, of course, inflation was lower back then, but it was always something affordable.
Once it hit above $59.99,
I think now we're just sort of edging into let's get away with what we can get away with.
I blame Xbox for that
Why is
because
that?
when the Xbox One came out, I remember something like Forza, $60, but it made sense for the console. Like those graphics were great for the time. But now, would I pay $60 for a digital copy of a game? No.
Well, that ends our mesmerizing moment.
What
What are you going to say?
I don't think it was very mesmerizing.
Real quick,
Yes.
Gwenny over here
Yeah.
says that it's like boiling a frog. They raise the prices a little bit at a time, and we don't notice and just keep paying more.
That's right.
But now it's to the point where you're not even owning what
Exactly.
you're buying. You're just paying
You're
somebody.
licensing it,
Yep.
leasing it.
Yeah,
Leasing
but
it.
NES again, those were like $40 to $50 a game when it came on out. So I don't know if it's changed too much from PC to the games. It's changed, but not as much. It used to cost more to make a game.
Everybody's doing how? How do you mean?
Well, you had to have a plastic container. You had to have chips that you had to burn. So those were actual hard cost prices. Nowadays, when you do a game, all it is software. When you release a software version of a game, you're just putting code out there that somebody downloads. There is cost for people to develop it, the testers. I totally understand there's development costs, but the actual physical costs are much less than what they used to be back when you had a cartridge and you had to have ROMs that were in there and a bunch of testing and burning of the ROMs. Okay,
yeah,
never mind.
but it was your game.
It was true.
I have a bunch of my games at home that I own that I can't play because I don't have even a Wii anymore.
Thank you for that mesmerizing moment. We're going to head out the commercial break. You're going to see us in just a couple minutes.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, so you know what? We need people to start liking our social media pages.
If you like our show, if you really like us, we could use your support on patreon.com.
Or is it Patreon? I think it's Patreon.
Okay, Patreon. If you really like us, you can.
And you say I'm the English guy?
Patreon.com.
I butcher the English language?
You know you butcher the English language.
Okay, so it's
all the time.
It's Patreon.com.
Patreon.com. If you really like our show, you can subscribe to patreon.com and help us out.
Oh, and you can visit us on that Facebook platform. You know, the one that Zuckerberg owns?
The one that we always bag on?
Yeah, you can. We're on Facebook, too.
Yeah, like us on Facebook.
Do you know what our Facebook page is?
TechTime Radio.
At TechTime Radio.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a trend here.
It seems to be that there's a trend, and that's TechTime Radio.
Or you can even Instagram with us.
And that's at TechTime Radio.
That's at TechTime Radio. Or you can find us on TikTok.
And it's TechTime Radio.
It's at TechTime Radio.
Like and subscribe to our social media.
Like us today. We need you to like us.
Like us and subscribe. That's it?
That's it. That's that simple.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right. We're going to our Wayback Machine, and it's April 12th, 1976. Who in the world is Ronald Wayne? One of Apple's Computer 3's co-founders departed just 11 days after founding the company, selling his 10% stake for $800. During his brief tenure, Wayne created the first Apple logo, drafted the company's partnership agreement, and wrote the manual for the Apple I. He decided to leave because the partnership agreement imposed unlimited personal liabilities on all the co-founders, no matter which partner accrued the debts. In contrast to Jobs and Wozniak, who were both 21 and 25 at the time, Wayne had his own personal assets vulnerable to creditors. Additionally, prior failures of a slot machine venture, which launched 5 years earlier, influenced his choice to withdraw from the partnership. Wayne later remarked, "Either I was going to go bankrupt or the richest man in the century." By 1982, his 10% share of Apple Computer had grown to the value of $1.5 billion, which has now soared to $22 billion in 2010. And then saw hindsight 2020, right now, it'd be worth about $22 billion.
Maybe this was a tech fail, not a...
Well, no. This is just a history thing. No, our tech fail will be... Our tech fail will be a tech fail. So there you go. Sometimes you have an opportunity to invest into something, and if you do it, you can make it. Sometimes you don't. I can see if he was kind of scared if he had two young kids spending his money and he would be liable. He's like, I don't know if these guys are going to make it, but clearly they did. That was This Week in Technology. If you ever wanted to watch some Tech Time history with over 230 weekly broadcasts spanning our 4+ years of video, podcasts, and blog information, you can visit us at techtimeradio.com to watch our other shows. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we have the Mark Mumble Whiskey Review. See you after this.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
The segment we've been waiting all week for. Mark's Whiskey Mumble.
All right.
Well, somebody at this table is celebrating April 8th today.
Oh, and what is that?
It's Trading Cards for Grown-Ups Day.
Oh, fantastic. I love trading cards.
Now, a collection of trading cards by grown-ups is usually considered childish.
What?
Trading Cards for Grown-Ups Day is a day for people pretending to be adults to show their trading cards and be proud of their collection.
Oh, I am.
It is celebrated by them to try and normalize the collection of trading cards by those that are not children anymore. What a day.
It is. Do you know how many trading cards I have?
This is not, no. If there were a museum of old toys, it would be you.
Okay. So I do have a lot of, I also I have Michael Jordan's rookie. I got a whole bunch of stuff that's been slabbed and put a PSA ratings on. So I'm a big card collector. I never got into Magic the Gathering or any of those games at the time. I just did really sports cards. Was kind of my thing. Garbage Pail Kids.
Now let's talk about an adult that had better things to do than trading cards.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So Joseph Magnus' story.
I take it Mark's on the childish side of that equation.
So Joseph Magnus' story begins all the way back in the young, war-torn America in the middle 19th century. Now, during the Civil War in 1864, young Magnus received news that his father had been killed in battle. With 3 younger siblings to take care of, he matured quickly and took on the responsibility of caring for his siblings. His late father had been a merchant, and Magnus took after him to become a savvy businessman. He soon discovered a niche market for wholesale liquors, and by the time he was 26, he had painstakingly built up a liquor empire. Now, Magnus prided himself not only in the quality and age of his spirits, but on intelligent and honorable business methods. Excellent whiskey, he recognized, was more than simply a pleasant experience for drinkers. It was a means of promoting good conversation, close fellowship, and the interchange of kindly deeds and pleasant thoughts.
Okay.
That's why we drink.
That's why we drink.
That's why, because of pleasant thoughts?
Yeah.
No, I drink right now because both of my kids are getting married. That's why I drink.
I thought there were other reasons to drink too.
So that's at the end of the show. Somebody heard you on the radio talking about that, Nathan, and I have a present for you.
Oh, okay.
From that person.
Okay, all right.
Is it alcohol?
Maybe Whiskey Chris? Was it Whiskey Chris?
You'll have to wait and see.
All right, okay.
But yes.
Okay.
About the whiskey. This one is a thinker. Not only throughout sipping it, but also every time I've had it, it's a roller coaster of flavors, delivering new ones at each turn. It has rich dark fruit, raisins, and dark chocolate, and lots of flavors of ruby port without that cloying sweetness. The finish on this lasts forever and brings along with it some nice crisp apple. I hope to savor this bottle and will enjoy every pour of it.
Okay, so you know what? So I really did not like it.
Oh, I know you don't.
But I'm starting to get a little bit. So it's not. I would never pay the price for this, and I would never ask and recommend this from any place that I would be at. But I will say that it is maybe not as bad as I first had when I had the first bite of it. So okay, all right. Well, whiskey and technology are a great pairing, just like the TV show Ren and Stimpy from Nickelodeon, 1991 to 1995. Remember Ren and Stimpy?
All you have to say is Ren and Stimpy. I don't think you have to describe where you're.
No, look at.
Do you know how to tell a joke?
Odie was like, "Who the heck are those?" He didn't even know what I was talking about.
No,
So
I
look
think
at that.
I think
you know
I
why
think
I
she
made
was
that
going
face?
like,
Why is
why
that?
is he telling me it was on TV?
Because we just talked about how childish you are, and here you are talking about a Nickelodeon show.
Absolutely, Ren and Stimpy.
You
baby.
were well into your 20s when that came out.
Oh, yeah. Let me just tell you,
Maybe older.
I still watch South Park pretty religiously myself.
South Park makes sense.
Ren and Stimpy.
The classic Ren and Stimpy was just.
Yeah, then there was so Nickelodeon had it for a bit, and then like MTV
You are so
got
stupid,
it.
Stimpy.
That's right. Then MTV got it for like a season or two, and then they kind of like went.
Oh,
they were
they
trying to do the
messed- yeah,
Beavis
they
and
messed
Butthead
it
type
up.
of deal. But all right, there we're continuing on.
They messed
All right,
it up.
let's prepare for our technology fail of the week, brought to us by Elite Executive Services.
We are out of time. Congratulations. You're a failure.
Oh. I failed, did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
All right. Well, this week's technology failure kind of comes to us from this company called DOGE. Have you ever heard
Is
of
that
this?
cryptocurrency?
No, it's not
I think
crypto.
we'll take a little drink of this one.
All right. And what is happening with the staff
It's a hustle.
for Social Security? Now, Deutsche offered layoffs at Social Security and plans to gut the IT team, and the website continuity is breaking. A new report indicates, per Dodge's orders, the Social Security Administration plans to lay off potentially thousands of staffers as early as next week in an effort, of course, to downsize the agency. Among those requests, they have the administration's IT's team. Reports the notes that they could have anywhere between 800 to over 1,000 people be laid off from their technology team. Now, what's happening right now, though, is they're having problems with the traffic on their current website. So those people that are trying to use Social Security services through the website have actually been hit with crashes, unable to go to the site itself because the senior department officials said that they do not have adequate people for their IT team. Now, their IT team consists of about 4,000 members, and they've already been told that they should expect at least 800 or more to be laid off next week.
Now, I also heard that they claim that they're going to rewrite the whole Social Security underlying code, which is on Cobalt.
Yeah.
And rewrite it in 3 months.
Okay.
And make it all
easy and all perfect. Okay.
Perfect.
Well, you know what?
That's going to be interesting.
They should be game designers.
They should be game designers.
Wait, maybe they
It could be like Bethesda game designers, and you can release something and then not have it work
And
the
not
day
have it-
one.
yeah.
And then you have to write the whole patch and download
That's
the whole
what. So
game
that's what
itself.
they're going to do. They're going to write all this code, launch it. It's not going to work. Then they're going to spend 8 years patching it until it doesn't work. Still,
That's right. Well, hang
It'll
on.
be great.
Well,
It'll be great.
Our technology fail is, I understand there's probably bloat in IT services. I'm just going to make this PSA out there for everybody. But please, if you're having problems with something already, it is not the ability to go in there and just cut everything so you can then see what happens. You need to be able to fix those items first before you go and cut. We're going to head out to our last commercial.
So you mean like measure twice, cut once?
no.
Well, no,
That's
not even measure
that's
twice.
Not how it is.
Just do an evaluation.
It's cut 5 times, measure none.
And then just put wood glue back together for any of the pieces that you cut incorrectly, right? There you go. All right, we're going to head out to our last commercial break. When we return, we have our Nathan Nugget of the Week and, of course, our pick of the day. So sit back, raise a glass. You're listening to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm.
How to See a Man About a Dog. It combines darkly comic short stories, powerful poems, and pulp fiction prose to create a heartbreaking and hilarious journey readers will not soon forget. Read How to See a Man About a Dog, collected writings, for free with Kindle Unlimited. Ebook available on Kindle, print copies available on Amazon The Bookpository, and more.
This is your Nugget of the Week.
All right, well, let's get ready for our Nathan Nugget. Now, Microsoft is celebrating 50 years, and I worked for them for 1/5 of that time. I have a quiz here from Mike, Mark, and Odie. Let's take a look at some of the important red letter dates for Microsoft and compare them to what we have available now in our Microsoft 50 quiz. Here's what we go. All right. Do we know when the beginning is considered when Microsoft was founded? Does anybody know what date that is?
The date or the year?
Well, give me the year. Give me the year.
1988.
Nope. Odie, do you have an idea?
No.
Okay.
I really don't.
Mark, do you have an idea?
1975, probably around April 4th.
Somebody read their script ahead of time. That is correct. Ding, ding, ding. Good job. Microsoft was founded
Is
from
that
the humble
in the script?
Yeah, it was in the script. In the humble beginnings, Microsoft grew quite frequently with the personal computer and software company. All right, we're going to go take a look at the next thing. Now, everybody's heard of Microsoft Word, right? Now, it was officially launched as a revolutionary document creation process. It was actually competing with a product in the market that had 95% of the share, which was called WordPerfect.
WordPerfect.
Which was much better product.
It was.
Yes.
It was. But Microsoft Word came on out. Does anybody know what date it came on out?
1988.
No.
Little earlier.
A little earlier. Odie, do you have an idea on this?
It was like 84, wasn't it?
Mark.
Oh, 1 year before Mike.
Oh, there you go.
1983.
1983,
Okay.
October 29th. That is correct. Now, do you know what was the price that you had to pay in 1983 for a copy of Microsoft Word?
$20.
Nope. $79 for a copy of it.
It was a video game.
So
it was $80.
It was $80 for the productivity. Guess how much you pay now for it? Nothing, because it is now available in the Office suite for free. If you create a Microsoft account or a Bing account, you can go online and use Microsoft Word on the web version for free for everybody to use today.
Didn't that lead to Microsoft getting in trouble?
Well, they got in trouble for
having
lots
a
of stuff.
monopoly
Yeah,
or
there
something
was.
like that.
All right. Now, the biggest thing here, Microsoft Windows 95. Big deal. It was at least released in 1995. But do you know which month it was released in?
1988.
No. Well, that was the better
wasn't
version. Do you know?
What month was it released?
What month?
April.
Nope. Mark?
I think it was the best month of the year.
What was that? November? Is that the best month of the year?
No.
Yeah. It was November.
I was wrong. I thought it was August.
No, November 20th, 1985. And it actually shipped.
How was August the best?
It actually
month of the
shipped
year?
with a bunch of issues that were a problem. What's that, Odie?
Were you asking for the month?
Yes. What
Wait,
was it?
no. You're off there, buddy.
No.
Excuse me.
When
it
is-
was August 24th, 1995.
Yes.
Well, it says
That's what. No, you were talking about the first Windows, not Windows 95. You mixed the two up. The first Windows version they released.
You worked there for that was 1/5 of
I meant Windows 95. I'm sorry. I meant Windows 95.
Wait.
So much
Windows
for that
95
1/5.
was November.
August. No, Windows 95 was August of
Hold on.
1995.
Are you
I
serious?
still want to know why
I'm
August
looking,
is the
I'm
best
looking at
month
the
of the
thing
year.
right now.
Okay, you're looking at the thing right now. What does this
November
say?
20th, 1985,
Yes.
Windows is released. Windows opened up a new era of
Yes.
multitasking.
That wasn't
and
Windows
seamless
95.
That wasn't
Remember they had
Windows- that
Windows
was the original
3.11,
Windows.
Windows 3.1. Remember that early
Oh,
version?
so you know what? I guess I'm looking at the picture of the Windows 95 release,
This
but it
is
was
coming
actually
directly
Windows.
from
Okay.
Microsoft.
Word perfect.
Yeah, and Microsoft is maybe wrong on their
Yeah.
thing there. There you go. Okay. Now we're continuing on. So Odie now has the same thing, so she can go ahead too.
Yeah, Odie's cheating.
She's cheating too. All right.
Mike will know this next one.
I still want to know why August
I
is the
said it
best month
earlier.
of the year.
It's his birthday.
Leo.
Internet Explorer is released. Now, Internet Explorer was competing with another. Does everybody know what they were competing against?
Nobody
Netscape.
cares.
Netscape. Big time at the time. Netscape, again, owned like 80 to 90% of the market.
Yeah.
Came out, it was August 24th.
Once again, better product.
August 24th.
Netscape was, yeah.
Yep, 1995. And MSN is launched as a debut with Windows 95 on August 24th, 1995. It was the combined of news and technology for the MSNBC arm that really kind of failed. It was not a really good venture, but then you do have MSNBC now as its own news article, and then you have MSN.
Let's move on to your favorite one.
Xbox. When was the Xbox?
Well, you didn't
console
answer
released?
the question. When did MSN come out?
MSN came out
It's
in August.
that same month.
August
Oh,
24th.
okay.
1995.
MSN and IE all were launched with Windows 95.
Yeah, the big
I'm
thing.
just clarifying. I didn't hear the month.
Sorry.
All right, August.
Maybe I'm just stuck on the fact that August is the best month of the year.
All
and I
right, the
didn't know
Xbox
that.
console, the original Xbox console, the one that I actually worked in, helped put all the hardware in this bad boy.
That came out in 1988.
2001, November 15th. And now,
Space Odyssey.
now you can.
we can skip the next one.
What's
the
the
next
next
one just does not matter.
Bing was launched
We don't care.
in
Well,
June
nobody
3rd,
cares about it,
2009.
Yeah, just move on to the next one.
Microsoft Edge is released.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares about Edge, April 29th, 2015.
That one took
And-
me by surprise. For
Why's that?
some reason in my mind, I just thought that was older than that. It's
No,
so
Edge
ingrained.
is just the Internet Explorer
That's,
knockoff.
that's because
Yeah.
it works like an old person.
I still use Google Chrome and Firefox. And Brave is my browser. I really don't use
All
Edge. Okay. All
Cheers
right.
to Microsoft. I
50
don't know
years.
why, but
50 years.
50
Here we
years.
go. There we go.
All right.
Cheers. Cheers.
I'm glad to know that I'm older than Microsoft.
There you go. All right. There we go. Now, though, let's move on to our pick of the day.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings. Let's see what bubbles to the top.
Okay.
We are drinking today the Joseph A. Magnus, the Murray Hill Club Special Release, Batch 4. And Batch 4 is a blend of 8 and 17-year-old bourbon finished in Calvados casks. It's 111 proof, $200.
Are you giving it a thumbs up?
Yeah, dude, this is awesome.
I'm giving
I
it-
love this.
I'm giving it a thumbs down. It does not hit my palate at all. And you know, I feel really bad. Do you want the rest of my $200?
You don't have a
sip
palate,
of this?
buddy.
I'm sure Mike will finish that.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
All right, I got a couple things for you, Nathan.
Yep. What do we got going on here?
So first of all, from Whiskey Chris, he heard about your 2 weddings.
Yeah.
He also listened to one of your shows.
Yeah.
That's our one listener out there. And he heard that he'd given us this bottle to review, Traveler's Whiskey.
Yeah.
And you just loved it. So
I did.
Here you go.
Oh,
A
thank
little
you,
drinking
Whiskey
for your
Chris.
wedding.
Whiskey Chris. I can
And he
fill
knows,
my cup with.
and neither
this.
one of us wanted it. It's not a drink for a connoisseur or a
You
bourbon
get-
lover.
do I
so-
get that one?
No.
No, that's my bottle.
Dang it.
All right.
And then
okay.
also,
Oh, you got more stuff
you
here.
had given me a wine bottle, so I'm returning that to you empty. It
Okay.
was phenomenal.
This is Woodinville Wine Cellars. You love this?
Phenomenal wine.
Okay.
Every
okay.
wine from there has been terrific.
Okay.
And each one is more of a gets better and better.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for these gifts.
I have a bunch
No,
of
thank
not
you.
weddings happening this year. Can I get some whiskey?
You can have the leftover in Nathan's glass.
Yeah, you can have the
Yeah,
leftover
no, I
this
don't
thing.
want-
You
I don't
that?
want it.
I didn't backwash it. All
I
right.
don't
Well, you
want
know what,
Nathan
fans?
backwash.
We thank you so much for being a part of our program. It is you the reason that we make this show. Well, maybe not. Maybe just for Mark and Mike and I just to have a good time hanging out together.
And drink a little.
That's right. Well, we want to let everybody know that the science of tomorrow starts with the technology of today. See you guys next week.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.